Aisitsu, my fellow Salotus, it is I, Chaos, and welcome back to Doomy In The Roomy. Quite soon, actually. I wasn't initially intending to do an episode of this so soon after the original, and by so soon I mean literally the last episode, which was another Doomy In The Roomy episode. I was going to take some time and play some other games in then, but the thing is, I've been playing a lot of Doomy In The Roomy, because it's generally a game that I want to sink a lot of time into, because it's one of my favourite genres, it's the roguelikes, and it's a Dave game and all that good stuff. And, yeah, I was going to take the time to sort of unlock some more characters. I did play this on stream a few times, including yesterday, which, by the way, you haven't checked my Twitch yet, go do it, through the description below, yes. So yeah, I've been playing a lot more of it, but I've also been seeing some other people play it by this point, and it feels quite obvious that the game's opinions are quite mixed, and there are quite a few issues with it. So, what I wanted to do is I wanted to kind of come back to it, and I wanted to talk about a few things. I want to talk about what it does right, but also what it kind of needs a bit of balance on, because this is one of those games that overall, I feel should have been left in the oven a bit longer than it was regarding balance. So, we're going to talk about it as we jump in. So, let's play. Playing as the Shatter today, who is the second character. Subject appeared to be in a state of shock when recovered. They have a faster run speed, a slower crouch speed, more stamina, and more noise, which ain't good. And the passive is Adrenaline Rush, runs slightly faster once all items are collected. I still feel Elizabeth's better for the obvious reason of the extra chance, because goddamn, this game is overall quite difficult. I'm gonna play as a Shatter today anyways, because it's a new character. I want to see how they perform. You know, they might be better. Okay. So, we know how to play. Yeah, it's all good. Regarding where to start. Okay, so this is also a big thing to consider. There's a hard difficulty to this game, and we're playing on a normal difficulty. I just want to specify that out there as we jump into it and experience it. Now, the thing about roguelikes in general, for anyone who doesn't really know the genre much, is roguelikes do tend to have a fair bit of RNG in them anyways. But a lot of good ones can very easily balance it out if there are like extra mechanics to let you counteract the RNG, or if it's the case of difficulty, the game is overall just as difficult or as easy as the rest of it. The biggest problem with Doomy at the moment is that some characters in some levels are so much easier to play than others. Like, this character, I don't think it's too bad. I still don't really know how they work, which is why, like, an encyclopedia would be super useful. Oh god, and they saw me. So, yeah, this character isn't that bad. But then you look at characters like the Goose, for example, who, as far as I'm aware, will guarantee get you 99% of the time if you're spotted. So it basically becomes a stealth game. If you're seen, then you're screwed. That's basically it. And, like, I don't really know what the countermeasure to it is. I want to imagine that there's, like, a thing to it where Dave's like, okay, to make the Goose a bit more balanced, it's like, maybe it doesn't generate any fear or something. Or maybe it just doesn't have as big of a field of vision. That would make sense. But obviously I don't know, so it's difficult to kind of put a word on it right now. But the point I'm trying to make here is that the difficulty going against the Goose, or what's another cat that's pretty good? Oh yeah, the Bone Strangler, who I swear is faster than you and is basically, again, impossible to run from if you're seen. Except he seems to have better vision, if I'm not mistaken. It's just the case of, if you're seen by those characters, you have a much better chance of dying, personally, than you are against a lot of other characters. Yunder's pretty simple, very easy to deal with. Walmit can be a little annoying because he's very quiet, but overall, again, he's very slow and quite easy to see in most situations, so I wouldn't say he's too difficult either. Who else is pretty good? Bongo was, like, kind of annoying, but I don't think he's as bad, especially in comparison to other characters. So, and also Fernandez. Fernandez is also pretty easy to deal with if you decide to be stealthy. If you're reckless, that's your own fault. Like, that's you to blame here. But overall, like, Fernandez isn't too difficult either. So, the thing is, there's, like, a lot of really easy kills to go against. Really nice. I say easy. They're very balanced, I think is the best way of putting it. Fernandez can give you shit if you're not careful. The double fear level generation is a big problem, if not accounted for properly. But you can manage it pretty well. The Goose is just the case of, if I am not careful enough and I am seen once, that is it, game over. I can't run away, my fear level is, like, completely useless. I'm caught. And then I move on to another character. Which also is a bit stupid, because it's like, if the character is so annoying to deal with, you can literally just get yourself killed by that character, and then most likely get another character. So it's like, if I don't like playing as the Goose, let me die or even quit the game and reload, because you can still do that right now, by the way. If you quit the game and reload, you can actually spawn in another character, and kind of cheat the game a little bit, which is not particularly fun. On like the fairness side of things, the fact you can cheat the game, yeah, it makes it nicer, but definitely ain't good. Okay, let's just go try and find the exit quickly. Is it this way? No. Okay. This is another thing I still feel like the game could benefit from. I've been speaking to a few more people about it, and they also kind of agree the idea is quite nice. A map or radar system to point you in the right direction. Like, the thing that makes this game spooky in regards to the difficulty is that you spend a lot of time walking around because it's so hard to find the exit. By making the elevator so much harder to find than I think it really needs to be, it gives the monster many more opportunities to generate fear levels in you, which ain't good because personally, if you get through like the first 2 levels and don't ace them, I feel that unless you beat the minigame in the 3rd floor, it's basically impossible to win the run at that point. Again, that's what I think at least. I'm not the best player of the game, don't get me wrong. I played it a lot, but I don't think I'm like the greatest individual. However, I say all that, and I get to situations like so many times where if I fail the minigame, I'm like, well, I don't think I'll be beating this anytime soon because I've got to go through 2 more floors and not be seen like 2 times. If I'm seen twice, and I'm literally dead. And that kind of stuff. Sounded right there, okay. Oh. So yeah, man, that was the 1st floor. Oh yeah, I forgot we had to get this. I literally forgot we were getting to play as the new character then, god. Alright, fiery fields. Okay, now this map is actually pretty good. Regarding, like, map RNG, this is a good one, despite the fact the captain saw me immediately. And it's good because it's so open. Not only can I see a lot better where the items are, which is important, but I also know all the time where the exit is. It's there. That's the elevator. So, once again, in comparison to a lot of other levels, this one's very nice because you can see clearly now because all the black smoke and, like, darkness is gone. The problem is I've only got 1 look now and I'm dead. I don't think Captain Hall is too powerful as a character. He is pretty quick when not hunting, I believe. But also he does, like, fog out your screen a little bit, is the other gimmick. But when I say he's like, dealable, yeah, absolutely. Like, you can deal with Captain Hall pretty well. He's not Goose and, Bone Strangler levels of, like, unfair. It's mainly because he doesn't, like, keep that speed during the chase. It's only when he's walking around, I believe. So, again, I feel like he's pretty okay. He doesn't really need any balancing. He does blend in very well with the setting, though, which kind of sucks. You got a pretty good map regarding the camouflage aspect. It's over there. Okay, cool. I'm gonna make a little bit of a run for it. Run for the door. Hey, nice. Okay. So, yeah, again, pretty okay enemy to go against, and a really good map to play against, too, because I know where stuff is, it's such easy to see, and I know the elevator is, so getting out of it is much easier, too. Not as much risk. Library or detour? Overall, this one's pretty good, too. I will give credit, I don't think the minigames so far, from what I've played, I don't think they're, like, a big victim of this. I think most of the minigames are, like, pretty easy. There is the Sigsaw one I play, which I kind of died very quickly on, but I'm sure it's just because I'm a massive moron on that one, as opposed to the game is just, like, stupidly difficult. I'm throwing Dave a bone, and I'm pretty sure that's my fault, not his. But yeah, like, the minigames themselves are pretty okay, and being fairly, like, easy to do, they're also fun, as a result, you know? We don't have to be stressful about it. Granted, again, I feel the reward of this is very... What's the word I'm looking for? Necessary. Because, again, if you see our fear level right now, there is almost no way I am getting through the next 2 floors with literally 1 shot left. If I'm seen once, I'm dead, basically. There's no way I'm making it through with that. I've got to win this minigame for a chance to keep it going. So, oh, yeah, I should probably wait on him first and then make that decision. Otherwise, I'm getting in a lot of trouble. There you go. Unlock the lock. So, again, what I'm trying to say with this, I think, is as much as this minigame is nice to lower your fear levels, I feel like it should be a bonus to being good at the game and good at the minigames, not a literal be-all end-all to your run if you don't get it. Because, again, with how difficult the game can overall be, not winning this is basically the nail in the coffin, you know what I mean? That is the big thing. We've got Bookaduk's Big Library with Bongo Schmaglo. Bongo was always a little bit annoying, but I've kind of grown to see he's not as big of a threat. He's very noisy for one, so as long as you listen out well, you you should be able to tell where he's coming from. And you can't... Oh! Oh! Scratch that. Ignore the fact I said about where he came from. I had no idea. Oh my god, they're all just like so perfectly in line. Damn. Again, this level's also quite nice too. It's like dark, sure, but it's nice and wide. And overall, if you run against the sides, you're most likely going to find all the collectibles. Like, there's a consistency with it, and it's really easy to work out, you know? Like, this is literally the last one. That's it. I've only been seen once so far. Right, now I've got to find the exit. Is this the exit? Oh my god, it literally is. Wow. Okay, that was a really good one. God damn, that was a really good run. But again, that was a pretty good level. It's dark, sure, but it's very wide open, but also everything's kind of shoved at the edges. They're not stuck in tiny little rooms with all these walls surrounding them and stuff. It's very easy to understand, that one. So, again, pretty good. And the enemy wasn't too bad either. Tomb in the Womb with Captain Whore. Now, I am talking about a decent amount of the issues and stuff here, but I will be talking a bit more about it at the end. So, if you guys want to hear my opinions and all that, definitely, like... Not trying to force you or anything, but, you know, you should definitely stay around to the end of the video, because that's when I can talk about this with, a bit more thought process when I'm being chased by Captain Whore! Oh. It's the goose. Yeah, okay. This is gonna be a toughie. God. Alright. Should probably wait for it to go by first before I do anything reckless. I think it's terrifying though, dude. Holy hell. Character design, Christ, is... Oh, it's spooky. Ooh. Yeah, I don't think its field of vision is as good. That might be one thing with the goose. It doesn't seem like its view is that powerful. So that's a good thing to note. Again, I like how it now does feel like there's a little bit of a control aspect with it. There's something that it's not good at. Because that speed is just... Oh god, that speed is just something else, dude. Holy hell. Oh, here it is. Okay. Oh, my lord, we did it. And didn't get any fear at all. Which would be great. That would feel good, but obviously the fear don't really matter in what we're about to do. So, let's jump to the boss floor and see who we get. Can we get the Weed Ripper? That would be great. Oh my god, we do.
These gardens when folks like you keep busting up my shit. Like seriously, y'all keep coming over to my garden and trampling everything I just planted. I've had enough. Prepare to meet my scythe.
Thanks, Pug. Okay, the Weed Ripper I'd say is probably one of the easiest characters to deal with regarding bosses. So again, this is a pretty good pull, actually. The way she works, by the way, so she runs around her maze like a lot of the usual enemies. However, sometimes she'll burrow underground, and she'll spawn behind some of these boards. And she'll, like, sneak attack you. But the good thing is, she actually leaves the map when she does that, so you actually have a lot of time to sort of think about yourself before that happens. Oh god, it sounds like two of them, though. Christ. Oh god, it's so... Oh yeah, there's two of them. Okay. Now, I did hear there was a bit of a glitch with it, and the fact there's two of them, there shouldn't be two of them. There's only one. So, yeah, that's fun. Just gonna sit here for a moment. Two more. Gotta check the corners a bit as well. Sometimes they can be stashed in the corners. Oh god. Oh god, she's quick now. Why the hell is she quick? Sorry, what?
And that's that. Now stay out of my garden.
Oh, wait, hang on. I heard that there's apparently some time stuff in here that, like, if you take too long, you could just die. Is that a case of her speed? Does she just get faster over time? That would make sense for the Nutman, too. Yeah, I don't think that should be the case. I think you should just leave it. Like, finding more ways to make it difficult when I've already got to take my time a bit because I've got one chance, I feel is a a bit much. This is probably going to be my last Doomy In The Roomy episode for a while. I personally really want Dave to go back and just make the game a bit easier in general, because the big issue is the RNG elements, right? That is a big issue. With other people I've seen play this, that is their common issue too. But what I'm looking at here is the RNG elements and like how they're created. They're created, in my opinion, because of the difficulty of the game. The game overall, it's very tough to beat, especially on the normal difficulty of all things, not even the hardest difficulty, because a lot of the rooms are very hard to navigate around. You can't really learn the patterns much, because there are like familiar sort of landmarks in every stage that when they generate, you know where the exit is, sure. But, you know, the stages are still randomized for the most parts, so learning a stage isn't really a possibility. They're incredibly dark to navigate around, which makes not only finding where... Granted, the collectibles themselves aren't too hard to find because of the glimmer, but the monsters, which is the thing you need to avoid, that will make it worse for you if you're seen by them multiple times, yeah, they not being seen is a bit of a thing. So, as I said before in the first episode, I think a radar or map will be super useful, because there just needs to be more ways to point you in the right direction of where the monsters are. I don't particularly mind the fact that it's so dark in those stages, despite what I just said, but it's because you want to get to the exit or find the last collectible with as much ease as possible, which I think is what needs to be done. Because the issue is that you spend so much time walking around trying to find the exit or find a collectible because you have no idea what the hell it is. And by doing that, you're risking exposing yourself to the monster more in that time. Usually to the point that by the third level, aka the minigame level, your fear is probably not looking too good. So if you don't beat that minigame, you're not getting your fear level recovered, and are most likely not going to beat the next two floors either. So I think, regarding the core game, yeah, that needs to be sorted a lot. I think a radar system or a map to put you in the right direction more, as much as it may sound like it makes it super easy, that's better than making it super hard. Like, this is obviously a me thing, but I would prefer a game is too easy than too difficult. And Doomy In The Roomy has a lot of stuff to it that, because of its difficulty, makes it really hard to do. The characters, particularly, I wouldn't lot the characters, but they're all based on progression through playing as the characters themselves. It's bad enough you've got to win the game because of how tricky it is, but also, some characters just don't seem as good as others. Like, Elizabeth having the Determined ability seems like the best so far of the two I've played. I couldn't even realize how the Shattered was better, considering the fact that they apparently had higher speed. And granted, they get the ability off during the final fight because they never got all the tickets, or the goddamn keycards, whatever the hell they're called. But the thing is, I clearly feel like Elizabeth's a better choice here, and in order for me to get more of the content of the game, I've got to use a worse character in a game that's already still quite difficult. So it just piles on and makes it a bit harder. And yeah, that does suck a bit. And obviously I can't forget the characters too. Again, the Goose and the Bone Strangler seem way too powerful. Their speed is unmatched, and it's basically a game of stealth. But if you're seen, that's it. You get like one generation of fear, sure, but then you're off to another character, which is like, I don't feel that should be a thing, because it's just kind of like, it takes a cheap shot of you almost. And then you play against someone else. It's almost like it's just there to go, haha, here's a bit of fear level, play someone else. It's like they just are there to chip at you a bit, rather than be something that you actually want to kind of go against. Like, you know, something of that caliber with the speed is cool, but obviously, it's like, I don't know if it's really enjoyable enough to do. The Goose is, granted, I am a bit mixed on the Goose now. I feel like their louder is one thing, but also their field of vision doesn't seem that good, so maybe there is a bit of balance there to make it a little bit better. But even when I say all that, the Bone Strangler still seems really quick and a lot more aware than the Goose, so I think he could be looked at. There's also the Jason-like character in the game, the dude with a saw. His invisibility could be very annoying because it happens literally when he's right in front of you sometimes, because he's not like Wraith levels invisible, or even like another example, Prowler levels invisible. Like, you can't kind of see him, you just can't see him at all. So that'd be another character to look at personally. And honestly, the rest of them I just think are okay. I don't think the remaining characters are that annoying. It's just that the game in itself, regarding the level structure and what you have like at your disposal, I don't think makes the game like average enough regarding a difficulty. But again, as I said earlier, I'm not saying any of this to have a go at Dave, and I'm not trying to be like angry about it or anything. I'm just doing all this to be constructively critical. I want the game to do super well. Dave deserves it. I mean, Dave like deserves it for most of his games being good. And this game is amazing. Like, regarding the graphics and the gameplay on offer that's like showcased, it is really good. It just needs a bit of ironing out. But I also kind of feel that this is like the first time Dave's working on a roguelike style game. So Dave, if you are watching this and you need some help, dude, please do let me know. Like, get in contact with me and I can maybe give you some pointers and stuff, because it still sucks that I feel like I keep gloating about myself and all, but like, I have played loads of roguelikes and I want the game to do well, and I feel like I could have a little bit of knowledge here to really help the game out a decent bit, because the promise is there. I just feel like it needs a bit more time to cook and to really be fleshed out a bit and overall be a very enjoyable experience for everybody. So, yeah, that's really all I got to say on this one. But until, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you all enjoyed. I've been Chaos, you've been the episode 1 for Lawrence, as you always are. Until this time, remember to do the usual, like if you enjoyed the video, dislike if you didn't, subscribe to the channel, want to see more, maybe go follow me on Twitter for updates and stuff, because in case you don't know me by now, inconsistency is my quality. I've also got some links in the description below to my Twitch, where I try to stream 3 days a week. Definitely go check that out. Also, my Patreon there, in case you want to throw money at me from $1 to $3 a month for a credit at the end of all my videos and my streams. But again, COVID's still a thing. Briefly, we're getting there, people. We're all doing an amazing job. You're all doing friggin' fantastic, but COVID still exists. So please, prioritizing yourself first and not me. Most importantly, of all things, ladies and gentlemen, take care, everybody. Sayonara.